the Overmaster versus Jez2718. All right, welcome everybody to the top four. All right, you had asked me during the break, Boxer, do you think they play differently in this one? Do you think we've learned anything, any strategies, anything about this matchup so far? With kind of the three faction soldiers with the fire versus more of the, well, I was going to say the traditional soldiers, but I guess I shouldn't say traditional soldiers. That's probably an easy thing to mix up there. Old school soldiers.
I'd expect more of a prioritization of manacles when redrawing. I think that's, after thinking about it more, I think it's probably the most important card in the matchup. Uh,
Yeah, just it's
these
such a
hands look,
big stop sign.
yeah, these hands look fine from both players. Jez has power this game, unlike two of those earlier ones we saw.
Yeah. Here's turn two Dovid for both players. It's got the twins going head to head here.
It cut out for me again.
Okay. All right, Dovid into two copies of Dara Lee.
Crusader can block. Well, yeah, Jez has two options: Crusader or Perma plus Priestess. And it doesn't feel great to perma a Dovid, but can't leave a 4/4 on the field. So it's going to be hard to trigger the Jailer. Well, actually, no, the Jailer just plays Detain. That's one option Theo has. It's just Jailer, Detain the 2/2, and then attack with both. Because you miss some damage, but you make it bigger, and you really don't want to trade a 2/1 for a 2/2 that gives them a weapon.
All right, sorry about that. Attacking in for Theo. Now two copies of Vicious Overgrowth in hand. That's pretty good there for Theo. Now we've seen also the critical thing. I think now I remember. I was talking about it earlier. I remember what happened. What came up for Jez before was the power issues with not being able to deploy out their Argos and their Valises on time. Now neither one in hand for Jez right now, but I think that is going to be crucial to see to make sure that Jez is able to deploy those bigger threats, because that's really the cards that can kind of trump what your opponent is doing, is being able to get the overwhelm and get the stun and get the double damage, and that's how you can really push the game out of control. But without that top end, your kind of 2-drops and 3-drops get outclassed fairly quickly. You kind of lose the ability to push through.
I don't know. Well, I guess, well, there's a low cost to holding up this Argos technique, but I don't think it's going to do a ton here. Make that a 4/4. Um, and then Theo can just play another one. It'll give Jez a 4/4 weapon, but that's not the biggest. Oh, actually, if Theo plays another Overgrowth, he can't activate Daru Lee, which means he can't. Well, I don't think he has good attacks. Whatever happens here. Yeah, I like that passing back, because if you play the Overgrowth on that 4/4 Priestess, it'll give Jez a 4/4 weapon. Or if you wait, it just gives him a 2/2 weapon. And without anything else to play, Theo might not have other things to spend his power on. So that's just pure upside waiting, because you wouldn't get a good attack anyways.
Now it's a big attack for 6 here. All right. Ooh, Manacles. You mentioned this. This was the card to look out for in the matchup. Manacles here, and it does seem like it's going to be pretty impactful here. Just take out. You've already got the Permafrost on the Dovid, and now you can Manacles these two units and get a big attack in this turn.
Yeah, an attack for 9, 10.
Oh, interesting. Instead, going to go with pushing damage by holding on to the Manacles. Overgrowthing the
Well,
Priestess. That's good too. That pushes a lot of damage also. And now you got the Manacles for
yeah,
next turn.
same amount of damage. Yeah, and lets the Manacles deal with like a Valise or an
Yeah.
Argo or a Dovid.
Yeah, I like that because, like you said, this allowed the man holding onto the Manacles their turn. It's kind of the same thing, but it allows you to take care of something bigger the next turn.
Yeah, here this just gets played on the 4/4 and the 2/2, I think.
Yeah, 4/4 and the 2/2.
Can activate, hit in with 5/5 and the 5 or 6/6 and the 5/4.
6/6 and a 5/4. That's pretty good.
6/6 has to get chumped, go down to 1. Maybe an Argo can save Jez, but short of that, I don't see other getting out of this. And then Theo can draw an Overgrowth, an Auto Tread, a Dovid, so many different things.
All right, Argo's technique. Let's see. Let's flip it into a Stormhalt Warden. That's not going to do it, and Theo's going to take game number 1. So congrats to the Overmaster for taking game number 1 of the semifinals. Let me update that deck list for everyone. We've got Honor Soldiers. I always forget Honor. That's one of the ones I don't see as much, but I gotta think that like the old Control deck used Honor of Claws, so I should just remember that the deck that plays Honor of Claws. Although that heuristic might get me in trouble. I'm better with the more recent ones, the ones from the 5 from the last set. I know those pretty well, but all right, well they're jumping right back in.
Wait, the 5 from the second?
Yeah, so like Tradition. I can't even remember them now. Let's see. That'll be a test to see if I can remember it. After, let me get the players going, and then I'll see if I can remember them. So Tradition is Soldiers. Knowledge is Mandrakes. Menace is Grenadins. Because Grenadins cause a menace. What else we got? We got Sentinels. So Sentinels is Creation, because you create Sentinels. And then I don't remember the last one.
Ambition for Valkyries.
Ambition for Valkyries, because Valkyries have a lot of ambition. That's right. See, those 5 match up pretty well with what the factions are, or what the unit type is. But I don't know if the original 5 match up with a specific unit type. I don't think they do.
Oh.
Quick start here for Jez. Darali into Dovid's a pretty good start. Theo with that clutch Permafrost both games. But here comes Jenner Dovid the second.
Oh, Valise, that's big. Although Theo can just... Well, no, Theo doesn't have power to play Manacles this turn. All he can do is... play out, Auto Tread, Ping, Daruli, but probably discarding the other Auto Tread. I don't see needing a second Auto Tread.
Well, I don't know what got into our players for this top 8 boxer, but I've got to report Croge has defeated Avion 2-0 already and moved on to the finals. So, chat, we're going to get blessed with, knock on wood, I guess, we're going to get blessed with the quickest top 8 in history, because Theo's up a game and Croge is already in the finals. So, we'll have to see if Jez can hold on here and force a game 3 against Theo. Otherwise, it's going to be the quickest semifinals in history. But looking pretty good right now. They've got the Dovid and they got the stealth unit out. Although Theo's hand looks pretty good too.
Yeah, Theo. Well, Manacles here isn't the most impactful because Jez will get a 2/2 out of the 2/3, the Hidden Crusader. Well, uh, now Theo's probably going to get to play the Manacles on 2/4/4s.
Yeah. Big attack here for Jez, thanks to that Valise. Now, Jez also drew Manacles that turn, so Jez is going to be able to follow up with this, which is going to be good if Theo is able to turn things around here. All right, so block, but like you said, Hidden Crusader is going to flip there. Going to get a 2/2. Theo is going to get the trash, but that's going to be stunned for a couple turns. Gleaming Grenadin. Not secretly a soldier. Not a Grenadin soldier.
I don't think it's long before they make one. They're clearly putting cross-unit types on something.
All right. You always get me with those sneaky soldiers, Boxer, but I can confidently say that Gleaming Grenadin is not a sneaky soldier. It might sneak in for 1 damage, but we're not getting soldier synergies here. Second copy of Manacles drawn there for Jez.
Probably just gonna play out the Crusader there. Oh, and I wouldn't be shocked to see the. Well, is the weapon doing? Yeah, the weapon stops Valise from giving good attacks.
Yeah. It does make a big 4/5 there, and Valise now. Yeah, I mean, Valise, the +1/+1 doesn't actually change anything here with a 4/5 blocker. You'd have to suicide attack, and that doesn't look good for Theo here. But a second copy of Gleaming Grenadin, you can go wide, but Valise is going to be a lot better of a play, even if you can't attack this turn. Oh, gonna suicide attack in anyway.
I don't think that you gain very much out of this attack. You 3/2 dies, and you get 2 damage through to loot. That doesn't seem like a winning line.
Well, it's an aggressive line for sure. But look at Jez's hand. Permafrost, Manacles. I wonder if Jez is going to be able to ride this 4/5 to victory here.
No reason to play those runes out. You won't get enough to play, like... I guess the only thing that would punish you somewhat is drawing Valise and wanting to play Valise and Manacles, but the upside of saving the stun is so big. Well, Theo is going to get a Hound here.
SRFS says in chat, use the displays to remember the trifactions. That's true. If I remembered what the displays were, I think you're making a bad assumption there. I don't have the mnemonic devices for remembering the the trifaction displays. Ooh, Obstructive Flicker. We have not seen a Flicker yet tonight, I don't believe. Not on coverage, at least. But Obstructive Flicker, a good one.
Probably see Manacles on the 4/4 on the 2/1, and possibly a Permafrost on one of the Grenadin. Just to stop the tandem.
Yeah, probably.
I'd be shocked if...
It is unfortunate that you have Obstructive Flicker, which can deal 1 damage to all attacking units against a 2/1, a 1/1, and a 1/1, but because of the tandem, you can't let them attack to do the Flicker. So that's pretty unfortunate. You have to use your Permafrost and your aggressive removal, because that Flicker on those units would be nice normally, but not in this specific situation.
Other Manacles.
Oh,
everything.
Oh boy, another Manacles. Let's just stun all across Theo's entire board being stunned here. And I called it 3 turns ago. Ride this 4/5 to victory. Got another Permafrost in hand, and that's going to be it. Permafrost is going to be able to take care of this Amarok. And that 4/5 is going to do the last, 16 damage? I think.
Yeah.
I think I had 4 hits in a row, right? The last 16 damage off of that?
Yeah.
And that chill plus the permafrost, that's going to do it. Jez is going to attack in for 4. And Jez is going to go ahead and take that one, tie it up, 1 game apiece. Jez is just making me eat my words. Say, what do you mean? What do you mean quick semifinals? We're taking this to a game 3. Pull up,
8 units stunned on the board at the end of that game.
8 units stunned on the board. That's kind of incredible.
I'm getting new Tulute vibes from that a bit.
All right, winner will take on Croge in the finals. I believe Croge was on the sweet Praxis build, right? I think the only player on Praxis tonight.
Yeah, which is surprising. Like I heard a lot of people hyping that deck up just in discussions. It's like Feln, Praxis, and Soldiers are the 3 main decks of the format.
Right, well, they are ready. It looks like Jez on the play again this game. Keeping a hand of 2 power, Darali, Dove. I mean, 2 power, Darali, Dovid's pretty good. Now, we've seen Jez get a little bit power screwed before, but good starting hand. Unfortunately, Jez just can't. You can't just rely on the 2 power, though. Jez is going to have to draw some more power to go up the curve. I don't think Darali and Dovid are going to be able to cut it if it goes into a mid to late game.
I wonder if this Grenadin will attack. I expect not. Yeah. You're trading 1 damage for 2 damage.
Yeah. Seemed like a good trade. All right. Ding, ding, ding. Who had amplify another power off of Dovid? And that was important. That was the 3rd power. Jez didn't have another power before that amplify, or before that Dovid hit. Prowling Amrock going to hit here. Going to go for the quick draw mode.
Jez can just play Ursa Squadron, activate Valise, and hit in for 9.
That's a lot of damage coming through. Yeah, Theo's going to chump block with one of them, but 9 damage on turn 3 is pretty smart. Gonna get that decay blocker, though. So I think you just tried to be power efficient, play the Jailer here, right? Now you could play off of Permafrost on the Dovid. Interesting decision here for Theo. The problem with Permafrost and the Dovid is that you just completely waste your power.
I think it's the Jailer. Yeah, you have to hope to play Perma plus something else later.
Yeah.
Even if you answer the Dovid, they still have good units in play, and being down on power is a way to lose this matchup.
Yeah, I can see the thinking though. Also, an interesting on how much you attack with here.
You attack with neither or both.
Okay.
Because the damage isn't that relevant, but the buffing the 2 units is.
Right. Yeah, I like that attack. I was thinking about you are a little bit behind, so you want to keep blockers, but I think getting the double tandem trigger is probably worth the attack. You know, you're still at 21. It's not like Jez is going to kill you this turn. And getting those buffs, I think, is really important.
Now Jez can attack for 8.
Maybe this is why these rounds are going fast, is because blocking is just so bad right now. I mean, this game is a perfect example. It's like Jez wants to attack, and then Theo says, well, I might as well attack. And then Jez says, okay, well, then I'm going to attack. You just have so much more, because of the tandem ability, you just have so much more value by attacking. Oh, I missed last game. Good. Walking Sponge called it out in chat. I also missed... not only was the pinging ones off the obstructive flicker, Valise also pumps them up by combat 2 before you can obstructive flicker. So even the obstructive flicker dealing 1 wouldn't have worked anyway.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, Jez. Or no, Theo's gonna get in for, how much is this? 11? That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's gonna put Jez down to 8. This is crazy, but then Jez is gonna want to attack right back.
It's interesting if Jez just plays the technique here to gain life.
Cannot play it on the Dovid. We talked about that before. So you could gain life here, but it would have to be on the 2/2, right? And then you do have the other Dovid. I like you have Dovid Permafrost Argos technique has got to be enough to survive.
Yeah, I think you want to like gaining the 5 life is such a big deal here.
Yeah, I think I like attack Argos technique and then permafrosting one of the other 2 units.
Oh, it still they still just still has a window, but oh, that's a big deal. That is a huge deal.
Oh, just drew the Manacles, the Greek god of the Greek god of stunning. Yeah, that's a big draw. It's so hard to play around that too. Like if you're in Theo seat, you just can't, right? You just can't really afford to play around Manacles.
Yeah, now I don't like the technique.
You can wait on that, sure. Yeah, deploy it this turn. Wow, what a turnaround there. Attacking in, and then the Manacles is going to stop Theo from having a good attack back, and it's going to turn off all tandem shenanigans too.
And Valise giving Overwhelm means I think this is game is going to Jez.
Yeah, I think so. You can stun a big unit, but Theo can't play. Theo's stuck on 3 power still. Just can't play anything else. Can't play another blocker. Everything's going to have Overwhelm. This is 8 power Overwhelm right off the bat. Yeah, it's just lethal. You know, Theo can bluff something, but the chill's going to make sure it happens anyway. Wow, Jez2718. Look at this. Well done. I really like Theo's deck, though.
Yeah, I like the decision to play just a lot.